Jazakallah, Dr. Nisa. I think Saad Karamat Sahab is here. Saad is a role model. When he was young, he was in school. He contributed, donated his time to do a lot of charitable work. I remember him going to Ghana for Water for Life program. He's been to Pakistan. Now, by the grace of Allah, he's a doctor and he's serving and he's returned to Humanity First. So we'd like to hear some experiences from Saad.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. I have some notes here I'm just going to pull up. So I'm so honored to be here, such amazing people here today. I want to start off by saying that as doctors, a lot of us, when we decide to become a doctor, I think we have really good intentions and we're very idealistic. We really want to make a difference. But as we go through the journey of medical school residency and then when we start working, I think what we realize is that there's so many demands of the world and it becomes very difficult to actualize the vision that we once had. The reason why we wanted to become a doctor, we may not be able to actually fulfill that. There's student loans, there's very difficult work hours, and then you have responsibilities. You have to take care of your family, you have to make an income. And then the question of like, how do you actually make a difference that you always wanted to make? That becomes very difficult. But what I have found is that the few times where I felt I had a when I had the best of intentions, when I had the best of intentions and I was put in a situation that was, I would say, out of my comfort zone, that's when I was able to experience things that I had never experienced before. And I think it's because of being in a situation that I had never been in before. And I think that's the message of this conference, that we want to kind of share how we are experiencing God through taking these extraordinary steps. So what I'd like to say is that you know, here in the United States, we can do food drives, we can do blood drives, we can do things to help and make a difference. But I want to give an example of one time where when I went abroad and I was in Ghana, and I was in a situation that I had never been in before, and it was an experience where I had very many outworldly experiences, like things that I had never experienced in my life, and it just reaffirmed my faith, you know, day in and day out. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, you know, I was in a situation where I just really wanted to serve. And I have a few examples of things that happened there. And basically, I was in a situation where anything I wanted or anything I desired, I felt that God was with me in those moments. And that really, you know, inspired me. And you know, I have a short amount of time, but I'll just give one or two examples. This was happening every single day. Anything I wanted, it was like even just a hope, or I would think about it, and it would just kind of like almost magically happen. So one time it was very late at night. I had been in the rural villages all day. It was like 11:30 at night, and I hadn't eaten all day. And usually I knew that if I got home by 10 p.m., I would have access to food, because there was some street food available, and Murabbi Sahib lived close by. There was always food available before 10. But I had not eaten all day, and we were traveling back on a motorbike, me and a local person. And I just thought like, oh God, what am I going to do now? I'm very hungry, and I don't have access to any food. And just within a few moments, this is in the pitch dark, all we have is moonlight in the middle of nowhere. There's no sign of life miles in any direction. Within just a few moments, there was a man on the side of the road, like a street cart vendor person, at 11:30 at night, and he had food, and we were able to get food, and it was real food. I actually ate it and everything, but even to this day, I kind of wonder, where did that man come from, and was he even real? I don't know, but that food was real, and I was able to not go to sleep hungry that night. This is just one of many, many examples that happened to me during that experience. And I think as doctors, we went in wanting to truly make a difference. And sometimes we're constrained by the rat race that we're in here in the United States. But I think that if we put ourselves in a situation where we're trying to actualize those desires, although it's very difficult, with the purest of intentions, then I think God will show us his power, just like we saw through the earlier examples today of Dr. Aga Shahid. Like, those are just miraculous things. That's God showing his power and that God does exist. And isn't that the purpose of us making the most of our life here, where we can have those experiences every now and again? And I think it's all about pushing yourself and stepping out of your comfort zone, because then God realizes that, and he will show you his presence. And this has just been my humble experience on a few occasions when I kept my intentions really pure and just put myself out there. So hopefully that's of help to some of the doctors in this room and other medical professionals as well. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.